What's up, crypto fam? It's Phantom. Taking another look at the market. We've got Lily back again for another video. She will probably leave shortly. She doesn't stick around for too long. Bitcoin kind of corrected to the upside some today on the news of the inflation numbers, but quickly came back down below 40K. I think we continue this boring price action. At minimum, I'm thinking for the next few days, and if it does continue to the downside, I'm just holding out hope that we can close above this weekly trend line. The most bullish thing that I can find on the chart is this trend line has lasted since 2020, and it's continued to hold over time, so I'm hoping it does its job again. But the weekly closed last week in a support zone, which is bullish. The problem is it's easier for the price to go down at this point than it is for it to go back up. Once you have a failed breakout like this, it's a little bit easier for the pricing structure to continue to decline. I mean, we had buys layered from 44K all the way to 40K from massive institutions. What you have to keep in mind, though, is that these institutions, when buying, they're playing a long game. They're not about, these quick flipping trades and later this year doing well and gloating about it. These companies are in it for long term. So I think Bitcoin continues to move sideways. I'm interested to see what the S&P does tomorrow, and I'll be making my decisions based off of that. As far as news articles, Cardano's back in the news. I have some bullish news there regarding Binance and staking. The Bitcoin PAC is targeting people that are anti-crypto, and they're targeting the midterms to see who they can get voted out of office if they're anti-crypto and against crypto. They're putting some money behind this now to try to educate and get rid of the roadblocks that are preventing the U.S. from leading. And, this new, it's 10 years old, but the new innovative technology stacks that can come from blockchain technology. And the last piece of news that I have is the Ethereum network. The team of developers released a Shadow Fork, and I'll explain what that is. We've done them before at work. I code for a living. It's something very common to kind of stress test and find bugs using production data in the non-production environments. So I'll go over that and try to explain that in more layman's terms. So we'll take a look at the fear and greed index. We bounced up, we ticked up a little bit. We're still in extreme fear territory, which if you follow the channel, you know that extreme fear territory is kind of a good thing, because when the market's fearful is when things generally start to slowly change. But with Bitcoin lately, as far as the upside moves, it's been like a ship turning. It takes a lot longer than anybody wants, and sometimes we have to get these huge corrections down before we have our strong rally up. So we'll see how the next few days play out. I'm still holding my thoughts that I think towards the end of this week we'll start continuation of our bullish momentum, but we'll see what the week holds for us. We'll start off with the Cardano news. It was really cool to see. Cardano annual interest rate spikes to 54% because Binance is running short on supply. So this is a big deal for two reasons. One, 54% interest rate is absolutely incredible. It's not still at the 54%. It's obviously dropped back down. People took advantage of that and locked up their coins. But the bullish part of this is they need to charge that much for this interest rate. They need to push up the interest rate because the exchanges just don't have enough Cardano circulating. So Binance's staking feature is created to control the supply of various cryptocurrencies on the platform, as the outflow trend is still on the market since 2021. Whenever the exchange's supply is running short, it has various techniques for attracting more funds to their wallets. With Binance, the platform offers a relatively high interest rate for anyone who deposits their Cardano coins, compared to stablecoin staking, which is offered at around 10% APY. The rate of 54% is considered significantly higher compared to the average market. So for an 8-day lockup, they were giving a 54% return APY. And that's incredible. And they have to do this because so much Cardano is being bought up and then staked. And obviously a lot of the staking is happening outside of Binance wallet. People are putting it in their own dataless wallets and joining nodes from around the world. My Cardano has been staked since the end of last year. I use Crypto Crow's node, and I have ever since, I think the week he released it, I got on it, and I haven't really touched my my Cardano since. So I think this is a big deal. I know, Cardano's price really doesn't reflect this bullish momentum, or this bullish news, but just know that Cardano's always been playing the long game. Their foundation is set up to be solid so that they can build future projects with ease. They've built it so that they can have an insane network that it's built upon, and they've proven that time and time again that their network is stronger than anyone had thought it could be. They're working with Snoop Dogg to roll out different NFT projects. They will probably likely break into the music industry in a much larger way. I think in the short term, maybe the next year or two. With, I think, if Snoop Dogg decides to have concerts and things like that, you may start to see ticket sales and things like that all through NFTs. Hopefully built on the Cardano blockchain and the Cardano network. So I think this is really big news for Cardano. I think it's a solid project, as I've stated before. They really took their time and built it right. And now that they have staking, there's so much Cardano that has been bought up from these exchanges, moved off the exchanges, and just kept in people's personal wallets, and they stake those, on the dataless wallet. And that shows that a lot of people believe in Cardano long term. So much of its supply has left the exchanges because people are just holding on to it. So, bullish long term. I know the price right now doesn't reflect it. Would dip below $1 again. But, we were tooting this horn back when it was 6 cents and everyone thought it was crazy. And, we obviously rallied really hard during the bull run. And I don't see any reason why that won't happen again when the markets look favorable for another bull cycle, full bull cycle. And I think Cardano is one of the few currencies that I have my bets on for lasting the long term, because they really took the time to build a solid product rather than rushing to market. They did all their research, their white papers, their peer reviews. It's built on high assurance code, so they've made right decision after right decision. And it did take them a while to get here, but now that they're here, they're going to reap the rewards of that. So here's the PAC information for Bitcoin. The Bitcoin PAC aims to vote out anti-crypto politicians like Elizabeth Warren. Several pro-crypto political action committees, or PACs, have been established ahead of the midterm elections with an agenda to vote out anti-crypto politicians. What happened? On Monday, Fortune reported that the Financial Freedom PAC, also called Bitcoin, also called the Bitcoin PAC, had been set up to elect candidates to uphold the rights of Bitcoin holders in the United States. The PAC was introduced by Grant, the Director of Policy and Public Affairs at Bitcoin Magazine, at the Bitcoin 22 conference in Miami. He also announced the Bitcoin Advocacy Project and the Bitcoin Policy Institute that would aid the Bitcoin Super PAC in efforts to bring about an orange wave across Washington. This is fantastic news. You bring it right to them. Warren has been a vocal critic of cryptocurrencies, recently stating that Bitcoin is like buying air. this is what happens when officials have no understanding of how technology works and don't have their finger on the pulse of innovation. She's been very vocal about coming up with bills to enforce traceability of funds from exchanges to anonymous wallets. And the only reason that they want to see what everybody's trading, what's happening from coin to coin, isn't for your safety. Don't let that fool you. It is very much a control feature. These are the same people that push through, the Patriot Act, where they can come in and check your home without you even being home and never alert you or make you wiser. All in the name of quote-unquote safety for the citizens and looking out for us, which is not their agenda at all. So I can't wait for this pack to come out and start doing its education and pushing a Bitcoin agenda. Ethereum's first ever Shadow Fork. So what we've done in the past at my work when we do Shadow Forks is similar to what Ethereum has done here, and they basically take a full day or week or month of production data, and then they apply that to their new development branches that they're wanting to release in the next few months. And it does a number of things. It lets you edge test a lot of the type of performance issues that you might see, bugs that they might see, network effects that were not really considered, and it really lets you know if how you think your product will work with a full day of production data, or a full week of production data, or a full month of production data. So it's essentially like it's like trying it out, but without the public really knowing. And it went well. From what they said, that they obviously found some bugs, which is a good thing because they close them now before this actually goes to production release, and they need to do hot fixes. And I think it's been very beneficial for developers to have these shadow releases to see how a fully in production working product works when it's applied to all your development changes. To see, what breaks, how stressed the network is, all the different types of effects that can go on. So this is a really good testing method. It's been proven over time. You can write up test cases for every single situation you can think of, but generally when you send it to production, people think what you won't. And taking a snapshot of, a period of volume and then applying that full day, full week, full month to all of your development work and seeing how it flushes out is fantastic. So they did that Shadow Fork. It went live and it had really good results. So that's really promising for the merge, still coming, hopefully, the summer of this year. I'm super hopeful of that. I think it'll be extremely bullish news for Ethereum. Ethereum's another solid project that I have quite a bit of Ethereum that I've gotten over the years. Vitalik, I think, is a brilliant human being. He's an odd duck, but so isn't. There's a very fine line between genius and insanity. I've said it time and time again. So I think with these three news articles, I'm still on the bullish side. Bitcoin still looks okay to me as long as we don't close below this weekly support line, this weekly support trend line, and this weekly support zone. If we cross below one, it looks a little bit more bearish. If we cross both of them and close below both, I think we have a free fall to the 34 to 28K. I think there's going to be buys layered all in that region. So that's what I'm watching out for. I hope this information is helpful. If you like the news articles more, or if you'd rather me do some altcoin analysis, definitely leave a comment, subscribe if you appreciate the content. I'm happy to chart anything out. I'm happy to look at any news articles or explain anything coding-wise as far as any of these projects. I've made a instructional video on DeFi kingdoms and how to move tokens over there and set up staking with the DeFi kingdoms. I'd be happy to make one about a Cardano wallet or or what have you. So definitely subscribe, share, and leave comments if you'd like to see anything else. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. I hope you have an even better Wednesday, and Lily and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, peace.